Welcome back to another edition of Songs of the Ozarks, a project of the Ozarks Studies Institute and ongoing initiative of the Missouri State University Libraries. My name is Emalee Flatness, and today's date is February 25th, 2023. We are here at New Testament Christian Church in Reed Spring, Missouri, and I'm here with a little sliver of the Farnum family. Thank you guys so much for meeting with me today.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
So I said this is just a little sliver. How big is your family?
We have 6 children, 3 that currently play with the band, and 2 that have married and moved on. And well, there's 3 that are married, but Benjamin's still at the band. He lives next door and is able to practice with us. And then our youngest son, he sings occasionally, but he's kind of the reluctant musician in the family.
And the rest are all boys, is that right?
Yes.
So these are the Farnum girls.
Yeah.
How fun. The pretty part of the Farnum family. So tell me a little bit about how you guys got started in music as a family.
Well, for me, I got started on fiddle when I was about 6, or thereabouts anyway.
Wow.
And I took lessons from Ricky Bowen. He was with Sons of the Pioneers for many years at Shepherd of the Hills. And I took lessons with him for about 10 years. And then I just kind of, after that, kind of drifted off and did my own thing for a bit. Of course, I kind of, after I stopped taking lessons, I kind of lost the initiative for a bit to play, but...
Really?
And then after I got back into, or started doing the Fiddle and Friday thing, that kind of helped me have more initiative, just because I was getting requests from all my viewers, and so I had to keep playing, so...
Tell us a little bit about Fiddle and Friday.
So that started back during the pandemic, I think.
It was
the end of 2019.
Yeah.
So right before the pandemic started, I guess. So I just randomly decided to go live on Facebook one day, and it was pretty awkward. Starting out, and I just wanted to see what it was like, and so it's moved on from there and kind of grown, and I've got some regular viewers, and I've got the little virtual tip jar thing, so people can do that if they want to, but so that's cool.
And that's on your Facebook page?
The Farnum Family
Awesome.
Facebook page, yeah.
So how'd the rest of you get started playing?
I was just born into it. I think they pretty much started the family band kind of around when I was born, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Started playing more full time once I was born,
Yeah.
but
Dad and I had been a duet for a while before that, and then I think it was 2003, Benjamin, Hannah, and Daniel, our oldest son, they all 3 started lessons that year, and the family band started kind of doing a little bit together around August of 2004. Just kind of grew from there, and then of course Maggie came along. I think you started fiddle lessons just before you turned 6, and then she took lessons for 5 years. But then once our oldest son Daniel left the band and we needed another bass player, she switched to bass, and we can't get her to touch a fiddle anymore. She loves the bass.
What genre of music would you all identify with?
variety.
Kind of have a wide range.
We wouldn't call ourselves a gospel band or a bluegrass band. Just
Yeah, we do a little bit
mix
of,
of everything.
do some bluegrass, do some country, do some gospel, do some Irish, western swing, kind of mix it up. And Dad likes to do a lot of the old-timey tunes, like Sunny Side of the Street, It Had to Be You. When you and I were young, Maggie, that's going back the ways. So
It seems like a lot of the genres you play are kind of the genres that people identify with the Ozarks region.
yes.
Do you think that the region has had a big effect on you playing those genres? And
Yeah, probably, to some extent.
Yeah, I grew up in Oklahoma and vacationed
wow.
in Missouri, in Branson, just coming to see the shows. That was just my dream to move over here and be a part of that. And so, the children have grown up, hearing the bluegrass at Silver Dollar City. And I love the old country and the Irish music and such too. So, yeah, it's just, I think that's something they've been exposed to a whole lot.
Tell
Although,
me. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, although
Sorry.
they do listen to a fair amount of contemporary stuff too, but I hope their hearts are still in the Ozark music. Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about how your family got started. You weren't from the Ozarks. Was Norm from the Ozarks originally?
He was actually born in beautiful downtown Burbank, as he likes to
Really?
say, California. But his family moved to Lead Hill, Arkansas in about 1972 to get away from the rat race out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he started working at Silver Dollar City when he was, was he 22 back in 1977, and he worked there for quite a few years. He was also at the Roy Clark Theater when it was in Branson. And then he and I started playing together as a duet back around 1987, and we're on the Lake Queen for many years down on Lake Taneycomo.
Oh,
We
neat.
did breakfast and supper cruises.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was one of the neatest jobs we ever had, just to get up and sing to the passengers as they're enjoying a meal on the boat, on the paddle wheel cruise. And just piano and banjos.
Wow.
I don't know if I could go back to that now. I love the full sound of with the bass and the fiddle and the guitar, but the family just kind of evolved, like I said, as the oldest three took up lessons, and we started playing stuff together at home and played at Baker Creek and
that's
did
great.
churches and the county fairs,
What's
Just
your favorite sort of venues to play at?
For me, Silver Dollar City.
Silver Dollar City is hands down the favorite when we get the opportunity.
Yep.
We've had a lot of fun doing our Ozark Mountain Friday nights right here at New Testament Christian Church. They've provided the venue for us.
How often do those happen?
Well, during our first season, we were able to do twice a month, but the school is using the building this year, and so the auditorium's tied up a lot more. So right now it's been once a month. We'll have one more show for this season on March 25th. And then we're kind of going to see what transpires as the year goes on. We've got some other things in the works, so.
So what's so special about Silver Dollar City to you guys?
I think just growing up there and pretty much a second home to me and our family. But just the people there and the family friendliness of it, and of course the roller coasters are pretty fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I love the environment out there. It just seems like it's really family friendly, and I love a lot of the employees, and obviously D.A. Calloway. He's great. Probably wouldn't have ever gotten to play out there if it wasn't for him. So
He's pretty special.
Mhm.
He started a lot of young musicians.
Oh, yeah.
So encouraging.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he and Norm worked together in the saloon show back in the late 70s.
So are you
that's
serious?
Yeah.
Was he piano?
I think D.A. played piano, yes.
Dad was a dancing bartender.
Oh my goodness. Is that something you go around telling people? My dad's a dancing bartender. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. So what is your favorite, you young gals? Not that you're not young.
No, I'm not young.
Youngest gals. What's your favorite kind of music to play in the band or out of the band?
I do like playing bluegrass, but I also like listening to ABBA and playing that kind of music and singing it. But sometimes I just do little singing videos on my Instagram at times. A lot of sometimes pop or gospel or other things, but I like a variety of stuff.
Do you ever, Mom, plug your ears. Does it, like Ozarks style music ever, old time music or bluegrass, or old time gospel, do you ever get tired of it, or is it always just as exciting to play, if that makes sense?
I think it's fun to play. I think I kind of like to do a little something different now, but I do still enjoy playing it a lot. So.
Right.
Yeah, I still enjoy playing bluegrass, and
Yeah.
I really like the Irish stuff too. So it's a lot of fun for me. And then country is a fun genre as well.
Yes. So you've got some really exciting ventures coming up, right?
Yep, I just got hired to play with Clay Cooper and his show in Branson, so it's pretty cool.
tell me a little bit about that show, what style of music it is, and
Yeah, so it's country mainly. I think they throw in a little bit of like old, maybe like pop style stuff too, and like they'll do like some Michael Jackson and let me think, who was
Yeah, there's quite a bit of
quite a bit of like
drawn blank. Hank Jr.
Hank Jr.
Oh,
yeah,
my
Buck
goodness.
Owens,
Buck Owens,
and,
yeah.
I think you said they were gonna do some Alabama.
Alabama,
this year,
yeah.
this year,
That'll be
so.
fun.
This is another question that's a big question, but do you prefer playing old time music or country music?
I mean, I enjoy both genres. I like a lot of the old time fiddle tunes and
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of those through Fiddlin' Friday, and I've competed in like the Missouri State Fair or competition a few times over the years.
Fun.
So I played some Missouri style fiddle, but not a lot, not as much as I should probably.
Yeah. Your teacher was more Texas
Texas
style, so
swing.
she's done a lot of
wow.
the Texas style fiddle
Yeah.
contests. Yeah.
Could you describe Missouri style fiddling? What makes it different?
It's more just kind of laid back, not as much stylization as like say Texas swing. It's just more like old timey feel. Just basically just more simplistic tunes. So
Would you be able to describe the difference between Ozarks old time style music versus bluegrass music?
Bluegrass is more progressive, I would say, and just more upbeat probably. So yeah, I like both, but yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, defining them might be a
defining
little more
them.
difficult.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's about what I would say. I'm not very good at this, but
No, I think that's a great definition.
And I think a lot of times isn't for old time more the 4-string banjo is more common than the
Oh, I'm not
I'm not
sure.
sure. Sometimes it's a little bit instrumentation, but
Right.
in bluegrass, I know usually each instrument will take a solo lead, whereas in old time or Irish, a lot of times all the instruments are playing the lead together.
That's a great point. I've never thought too much about that. And you like Irish music a lot, right? What's your favorite style to
Gosh,
play?
I have too many favorites. I could never pinpoint. But because I don't play any stringed instruments, so I'm not technically a bluegrass musician. But as far as a penny whistle, I really enjoy playing Irish, or we do a lot of hymns with the penny whistle too. So I love gospel music and the bluegrass gospel and more traditional hymns, and some of the more modern hymns, more the Getty style more is what I like. Some of them are a little too repetitive or rock based for me, but I like the ones that the modern hymns that have an old time hymn feel to it, like How Deep the Father's Love and Christ Alone and some of those. So.
Oh yes. Could you describe what makes, I know I keep asking you guys these big, difficult questions, sorry. What makes Irish music different? Because I've really not heard much of it.
You want to try that, or you want me to?
Irish has a lot more like trills and like different bowing techniques for fiddle anyway.
Yeah, a lot more ornamentation, I think, is the
ornamentation,
word
yeah.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
It's really neat little riffs and just different stylizations in there than bluegrass or country. But it's a lot of fun to play.
That's wonderful.
We went to O'Flaherty's Irish Music Retreat several times over the years in Midlothian, Texas.
Wow.
And they have different workshops for like fiddle and penny whistle and guitar,
mandolin,
banjo,
banjo, accordion, Irish
Wow.
flute, harp, it covers all the different instruments.
Yeah, it's really fun to hear the Irish influence in your music because it seems, and maybe I'm mistaken, that there's not so much Irish music around here. Is there a very big Irish music scene that I'm unaware of?
I think there's some, it's like I know there's a pub up in Springfield that has some jams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure,
fun.
and I think there's, can't think of the name of the band, but our friends, the Marshalls, have been to see them. There's did you and Dad go to an Irish band that?
Where was it at?
I don't remember. I was thinking there was, because someone.
There was a pub we went to see a band at a while back with the Marshalls, but I don't remember which pub it was.
But, yeah, I think there's an Irish band in the area, but I cannot think of their name right now. And I imagine there's some a little bit down on the landing at.
O'Donnell's?
Waxy O'Shea's.
Oh, Waxy O'Shea's. I don't know
yeah.
what O'Donnell's is.
Mhm.
Is that the place in Springfield?
No, I think the one in Dublin, is it Dublin's Road or no?
Dublin's Pass.
Dublin's Pass
Yeah.
in Springfield. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah, we're not
that's-
really connected to any of the Irish in the area, though. We just kind of do
That's
our own
awesome.
thing.
So, did your ancestors play music or your folks?
My mom played piano at church. Other than that, I don't think we have a lot on my side. Norm's grandfather played trumpet and accordion and piano, and his uncle did some singing and it had a very unique whistle too.
Really?
That he did. Just yeah, I don't know. I can't whistle. I can't even call dogs. You know? But yeah.
Yeah, he did
Uncle
it with
Norm
his
could.
lips.
Yeah,
It was
Uncle
like,
Norm
it was
had a
just this
very.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a movie
style.
he did. His uncle used to do some bit parts in movies.
Disney films.
Yeah,
and
since
stuff.
Really?
Mhm.
Like,
What?
If you've ever seen like Blackbeard's Ghost
Mm-mm.
or the Gnome
Sounds like something I'd like.
Oh yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's a fun
Do
movie.
you like Dean Jones? Are you familiar with?
Uh-uh.
Okay, yeah, he did a lot of Disney movies too. But yeah, he and Uncle Norm were both in Blackbeard's Ghost and Horse in the Green Flannel Suit. And
So
some
he
of those.
whistled in it?
I don't know if he whistled in any of the Disney movies. There was one, I'd have to ask Norm what the name of it was. There was one, I think like a war movie that he did some whistling in,
Huh.
but the name is escaping me. I'm sorry.
So, what did he mostly do in the movies?
He was just like kind of a
Extra.
That
Character
is
actor,
so
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
usually like this goon or like a bad guy that.
Sidekick to a bad guy.
Yeah, one of his biggest roles, I think, was in The Monkey's Uncle
Oh, yeah.
with Annette
Annette
Funicello
Funicello
and Tommy Kirk,
Tommy
I
Kirk,
think.
yeah.
He had a part, and there's Monkey's Uncle, and
Yeah, there was another movie.
there was a sequel to it,
Sequel to
or Monkey's Uncle was a sequel. I can't remember, but there was
Dean Jones. Oh,
No, Dean
not
wasn't in
Dean
that.
Jones. Merlin Jones.
Oh, they've been Misadventures
The
of Merlin
Misadventures
Jones,
of
and then The
Merlin
Monkey's
Jones.
Uncle. They're both sequels.
That's hilarious.
I'd like to see those movies.
Yeah, and he did two with Elvis too. It was
Oh my
Girl
goodness.
Happy and what was the other one?
Dad would probably know.
I always knew them now. The other one's escaping me.
So was all of his family from California originally? area?
Actually, his mother's parents came from Poland.
Really?
And yeah, so his mother was a first generation American.
Wow.
And then when her family, it was her and her two brothers, Uncle Norm and Uncle Don, and they moved out west when Uncle Norm was little because of his asthma. Because they had been living in New Jersey, and so his asthma is what took him to California.
Wow.
And then she met Norm's father out there, and I think they both worked at MC Studios for a while. His dad was a cameraman on The Tonight Show for a part of his career and worked on the Andy Williams Show and such. But yeah, he was originally from Vermont, so yeah,
Wow.
he ended up in California for his career and then retired to Oregon. And so yeah, they've been all over the place.
Wow. It's amazing that you're both not from the Ozarks, but so strongly identify with Ozarks heritage and traditions.
Yeah. And my parents actually stumbled on Branson on their honeymoon in 1962. And one of my dad's infamous shortcuts, you know. went to Silver Dollar City when it was still Marble Cave Park, you know.
wow.
And so they brought me the first time in 1970 when I was 4 years old and saw Shepherd of the Hills and Presley's and Baldknobbers, you know. So that's just, you know, been part of my life. You know, we came to Branson at least once a year from then on, you know.
Wow.
usually during teachers' meeting break from school and summer and Labor Day. Any excuse to come over and see the shows. And
What do you think is so special about Ozarks heritage?
oh gosh, how to sum that up? Yeah, I have a real passion for Harold Bell Wright's books and Shepherd of the Hills. I worked there for a few summers in the gift shop and never got to be part of the play. Maybe my old age, but yeah, it's just I love the book. I love the story there. I love the integrity and the beauty of the Ozarks and down to earth. I'm so excited about the Hillcrofters organization and the preservation that they're doing.
It's wonderful.
Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to live over here, and
That's
glad all my children have been born here. I hope they love it too.
Oh, it's amazing. I don't think I have any more questions for you guys.
Come up with a lot.
Do you have anything else you think is pertinent?
I'm not sure.
We covered Dad working at Silver Dollar City and
Oh,
his career there. And
I was gonna ask you guys. You've played in other states. I know the girls said Oregon and Wyoming, and then obviously Texas. What is different about playing in those states? Do you have a different reception whenever people hear your music, or?
I don't know that I can, pinpoint any different reception
Differences.
from one state to another. Of course, in Wyoming, we were playing in the city park during their 4th of July type of a thing. So we weren't as close to our crowd. People were kind of sitting around the park doing different things. But a lot of times we play churches, and we've always had very warm receptions there.
I guess we also played the Buffalo Bill Museum out there too in Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah, that was part of the whole event. We do some shows in the park and some at the museum. Yeah, that had some nice fringe benefits. We got to go to the rodeo and see the Buffalo Bill Museum, which is, I don't know if you've ever been out there, but it's 4 museums under one roof. Or is it 5? There's
something like that.
Yeah, there's Antique Gun Museum. There's a Plains Indians Museum. There's a Natural History Museum. There's Buffalo Bill. Is there something else? I don't know. It's a really neat, neat place to go.
That's
Spend
amazing.
hours in that museum.
And you girls and the boys, you all were homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that gave you more opportunity to be able to develop this passion for music?
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't think if I'd had a teacher, I probably wouldn't have. I mean, Ricky probably kept me going longer than I would have ever gone on my own.
But being homeschooled gave us more time to travel and see more things and spend more time together, I guess, and practice. But with that, more lazy schooling. But that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's awesome. It's been so great talking with you guys. Anything else that I'm missing? I mean, I'm sure there's a whole wealth of information I'm missing, but
Covered a lot. So.
This has been another edition of Songs of the Ozarks. Thank you so much, Farnum Girls, for meeting with me.
Hey,